Hi everyone, it's Orestria. And in case you hadn't heard, I live in Japan now. Uh, One of the downsides of living in Japan is sometimes North American movies take their sweet time getting over here. For example, I don't get to see Ant-Man until mid-September. That's when it releases here. Age of Ultron is still in the theater. I might be seeing it again next week. But the good news is I do get to watch Japanese movies as soon as they come out, which means that last night I went and saw the Attack on Titan live action. A few words before I start talking about the movie. Uh, First, I'm going to make a second video for spoilers, so this is a non-spoilery impressions vlog thinger. Secondly, this was a Japanese film in Japan, so there's no subtitles, and my Japanese is not that stellar. So I have a pretty good understanding of what happened based on the fact that movies are visual and I can see what's happening, and based on the fact that I'm familiar with Attack on Titan. I've seen all of the first season, and I've also read the first volume of the manga. I also had a friend who speaks better Japanese there with me, and I asked her a few questions about the movie after. Okay, um, in case you didn't know, uh, I'm not the biggest fan of Attack on Titan. I mean, I think it's definitely worth a watch if you're someone who can handle your, violence and gore and depression. Um, but it's not my favorite show. I'm glad I saw it. It's kind of an experience to watch it. I'm going to watch the second season when it eventually comes out, when they finish with this junior high nonsense. But I'm not gonna buy it on DVD and watch it all the time. I plan on never watching season one again. uh, and I was very trepidatious going to this film because I didn't know how they were gonna manage to do it. Even a big budget Japanese film doesn't have the kind of budget of a big budget Hollywood film. I didn't look up the numbers, but I'm sure this film's budget was a tenth of the Avengers budget. So I was really concerned. Um, I don't watch trailers, so I'd only seen the tiniest teaser images for the film. And one of the reasons I decided to go was I was actually pretty impressed with how the Titans looked in still frames. So let me start off by saying the Titans might be the best part of this movie. I thought they looked kind of like lumbering zombie babies in the anime, and they weren't really that scary. They are creepy as heck in this film. They took a lot of non-standard actor bodies, so there's people who don't have gorgeous bodies, and they did this ashy gray zombie-ish makeup, not zombie makeup, but an ashy gray kind of inhuman looking color to them. They used some shadows and darkening effects to make them look weirdly gaunt but weirdly strong at the same time. They did an excellent job on those giant split grin faces. They were creepy. They were fantastic. I'm not totally sold on how the colossal Titan looked in this film, but I understand what they were doing with it. So, I get it. Um, and also, this film was just gorgeous. This film was inappropriately gorgeous at places. Um, Whoever was the set designer was having the most fun of their life, and you can just kind of tell. All of these important character moments and important character discussions between two people are always happening in the most gorgeous destroyed cityscapes. Not even cityscapes, but interiors. Like they're not just in a busted up building. They're in a busted up building with a piano that's slightly broken, but not so broken that you can't play it, and a chandelier on the ground next to the piano, and some curtains just kind of flapping in the breeze, and it's all perfectly lit. Oh my god. I You could turn these sets into a goth hotel, and I think the goths would be we would be very happy. It would be very good. Uh, It's just sometimes it was almost distracting, but they toned down that prettiness during um, some of the more horrific scenes, so that was good. Um, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but they did change. Well, they had to make changes. We're talking about a long manga series. We're talking about something that was like 24 episodes of anime. This movie is covering like I think about 10 episodes of the anime. I don't do research. I like to make sure my opinions are my opinions, so I try not to search things. But maybe about 10 episodes of the anime into a film. You know, they had to cut things, and I think in this case it really, really helped. If you saw Demonac and our Anime Indecision episode on Attack on Titan, I mentioned that the pacing was just really, really bad. Like that was my big problem was like stuff would be just horrible. Horrible stuff happens in Attack on Titan, but it would go on and on for episodes and episodes before you got a break, before something changed. Like it was just disaster after disaster. And the pacing just worked out much better in the movie. Like something that was maybe 3 episodes of the anime would be maybe 10 or 15 minutes of the film. And they managed not to lose a lot in that paring down process. And they do make quite a few changes compared to what you see in the anime. One character in particular has a very different storyline from what they had in the anime, and I'll talk about that in my spoiler video. But I totally understand all the decisions they made with those changes, and I think they worked out very well. And it also means that if you've already read the manga and you've already watched the anime, there's still a reason to watch this movie because it's telling a story that's like mostly the same, but not entirely the same. I don't know what the dialogue was like, but I felt like the actors were doing a pretty good job. I liked Aaron a lot more in the movie than I like him in the anime, so that's always a plus. Armin didn't have a lot to do. Mikasa is a badass. Yeah, that's most of the other characters I don't remember their names. Oh my gosh, the science lady. The crazy science lady. She has so much screen time in this movie and it's fantastic. I was seriously freaking out my friend I brought with me. My friend didn't know much about Attack on Titan before she went to the film and was traumatized. But she kept noticing that I kept like covering up inappropriate laughter. Oh, I love the crazy science lady. She's my favorite. Um, oh, something I was really impressed by is apparently a lot of the steampunk Spider-Man action was done with wires. Now, obviously, there's a lot of CG too, because they're kind of the actors are doing wire work as they fight people in Titan makeup that are CG composited into the frame, and then some of the buildings I think were CG composited too. So there's a lot of CG, but there was some actual stunt work, and I always really appreciate actual stunt work. I don't really have any huge issues with the movie. I'm excited to see it again with subtitles sometime so that I actually know exactly what was happening. Um, there are changes that maybe some people would be really bothered by, but I understand exactly why they made those changes. And I will talk about that in the spoiler video that I'm going to make after this. Basically, I recommend this film. If you're thinking that you want to know about Attack on Titan and you haven't touched anything yet, I would kind of recommend you start with this film. I feel like it's better than the anime. It's better than the anime, in my opinion. Someone who doesn't particularly like the anime is saying this, but I enjoyed this film. I'm really glad I saw it, and I look forward to seeing it again and understanding it. Yeah. Thanks.